you don't do is overcut that. If you undercut it, hit it into the side rail, the way the pockets have been playing this week, they will go in. And so Yapp draws first blood. Now that's the kind of 9-ball that boosts confidence. You don't want to be left with that kind of shot, but once they're knocked in, it does you the power of good. What a career Aloysius Yapp's had so far. He came very close to winning the US Open in 2021. That's the referee, Ben Taylor Fuente, who is well known for being a very reliable racker, as they say.
Yeah, making sure the ball's touching on the magic rack.
I was mentioning Yapp. That 2021 US Open, he lost in the final to Carlo Biardo after being well in front. He is a former world 9-ball junior champion. And he's had lots of success stateside.
Well, another look at the blue 2, and it stayed over near this.
So when it comes to the break rankings, Carl, if there is such a thing, where would Yapp be? Pretty high? Middle?
Yeah, he'd be certainly up there, not really around that middle area. Difficult to say really, because kind of just keeps breaking at that same pace. I've not really seen much variety with Yapp's break.
Extension called.
Seems to be consistent though from what we've seen. You know, keep putting that yellow 1. That's the idea. Not seen Tyler Styer yet breaking this match, but he's also one of the better breakers on the circuit. Where's the cue ball going here? Well, may be able to just see the edge. A little bit fortunate there, could have gone wrong.
That old cliche, a game of fractions. So, Carl, with all points taken off from a couple of years ago at this tournament and points already earned, added on, as I was saying, he's up to number 2 in the World 9-Ball Tour rankings. Of course, Fedor Gorst is off into the distance. He's so far clear at number 1. But now Yapp is his closest pursuer.
Yeah, Mr. Consistent. Lost out in the final last weekend at the Scottish Open. Lost to Mickey Krause, our eventual winner. Scottish Open's been a tremendous tournament added to the calendar. It's a beautiful pool room, the Goldricks, pool and snooker. And a lot of the players come in and play the Scottish Open ready for this one.
Aloysius Yapp wins the second round.
Well, it looks as though this semi-final is going to be very different from the one he played up in Scotland. He was against the Dutchman Jan van Leeuwen. He trailed 8-3, pulled that out of the fire. Here, though, Yapp is 2-0 up, and Tyler Styer's contribution so far has been minimal. Styer, of course, if he were to win this tournament, well, he can book his visit to London in the Mosconi Cup, surely. If he wins this match, by the way, know it's early days, plenty of pool left to be played, but if he wins this match, Tyler Styer, he moves to the top of the USA Mosconi Cup standings. Hard to imagine, in all fairness, he won't be in the team.
Yeah, he's become killing from them American players like SVB and Skyler Woodward. So Fedor's always going to be there. Types of players where, even if they didn't qualify through a ranking system, I'm sure the captain would be happy to be picking them. Still feel like there's a space for one of these American young guns. I've been saying it all week. Anyway, MVP for Reyes Cup, Fraser. He's going to be raking in rack 3. There you see again, the one ball disappears. Doesn't hit him too hard, does Yapp? Just that little medium draw shot. From that angle, it looks like the ball 2 can squeeze past the 6.
Hello mọi người.
Does.
Hiện tại Yapp đã đi được 2 chấm và đây có thể là chấm thứ 3.
Yeah, tight squeeze, but it definitely will pass.
2 xong 3 lỗ 10, 4 8. Nhưng đánh 3 vào lỗ 10 thì kéo ngang được không? Không lại va mất con 4 thì buồn cười.
Extension called.
He's having a good look at this one because from that angle you've got to avoid.
Ồ, đây là mã cân anh em ạ. Mã này không chém được, mã này chỉ có cân thôi.
The jaws on a pool table are so sharp. Yeah, you can just see. Look at that left one. Usually, if it's that, it won't go in. Oh, straight in.
Chém kìa.
Wonderful. But it's
Đen
gone
rồi.
wrong. If there was a little bit of gap between these two balls, he could have played the combo. He can't now.
Liệu con 4 có đủ để chạm con 8 được không? Liệu lắn đủ chạm được con 8 không? Chưa dính.
It's about to end.
Yapp quyết định thua rồi.
Well, I'll tell you what, if this bounces, oh my,
Ôi
what
kìa.
a safety effort that is.
Tốt thế. À, nhìn được mặt 4 này.
Finally out of his seat. Although with nothing particularly appetizing.
Yeah, played the carom. That was the idea. Where's the pink gonna go though? Needs to go. Well, that's going really wrong.
Yeah, that's the problem when you play a shot as complex as that, Carl. He did well to make the carom, which was clearly there. The only problem was control of the other 2 balls involved. And look what's occurred. The indirect result might well be loss of rack.
Yeah, outside chance has not been taken. Didn't control his 4 ball. He got the first bit right. Potting the 8 with the cue ball, but he misjudged the pink 4, and now the jump shot's gone wrong, and Aloysius with an easy opener here.
And maybe he's looking to bank $40,000 US first prize. Well, he's looking good in this semi-final. 3-0 up. Tyler Styer not yet involved.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
To the Telford International Centre, where the 7-ball in rack 3 was banked in by Aloysius Yapp. And guess what? He followed suit on the 9. Yapp leads Tyler Styer 3-0, and of course, with the format on the World 9-ball Tour, he gets to break in rack 4.
Aloysius Yapp to break, leading 3 racks to 0.
History tells us in these high-profile matches between two world-class players, when you start to dominate, you've got to keep the foot on the pedal, show no weakness, because in a race to 11 this is still very much the early stage.
Well, he's made a couple of banks in the previous rack before the break. Is he going to go again? Obviously, if he can cut it in, he will do. That's the shot he'll play. He's looking behind the pot, so he feels this does cut. Not just potting the ball here, though. He's got to judge the cue ball. This is it's a nasty one. There's a lot of balls down here he can clatter into, and you've got to try and land on the red 3. He's Mr. 2. So Tyler Styer, who's only had one visit to the table. Aloysius Yapp put a 2-pack together out the gate. This is an opportunity. It's all about the cue ball, this shot. Gonna go rail first.
Extension called.
Well, I think he's played that very neatly.
Yeah, that's laid to rest ideal. That float round the back of the purple 5. Even if you land straight on it, that's good enough because the green 6 is next door. You know what, Phil? You don't always start off a match how you know, of course you want to, but this is 9-ball pool. This is what the sport is about. Tyler's got to stay in this. We know what can happen when someone gets in front by a lot. They relax and the game seems to kind of always feel like it goes in their favour, but it's not really the case. Steyer's got to knock these balls in here.
Yeah, good point, Colin. When you think Styer, from the word go in this tournament, has been in fighting mode. Rocked on his heels by that opening match defeat by Juan Carlos Exposito, but refused to surrender. There have been some hairy moments, but he's still in there. In the inaugural UK Open, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz reached the final after losing his opening match. And given Steyer's mentality and his unbelievable will to win, he could do the same. Yeah, overcut. A very thin 2-ball, and Tyler Styer did the rest. He is from Waukesha County in Wisconsin, from the village of Vernon, not too far from Milwaukee. Other famous people from that part of the world: J.J. Watt, the American footballer, and the legendary guitarist Les Paul. As for Styer, individually, his biggest 2 wins: Kremlin Cup in 2019, the Texas Open in 2023. He was runner-up in the Wisconsin Open that same year, came so close to glory on home soil. If he were to win today, Carl, and this is a big factor, if he were to win today, he would guarantee, merely by getting to the final, his biggest ever individual tournament payday. Obviously, he's received more for being involved in a couple of winning Mosconi Cup teams, but individually, this would be his most profitable tournament.
Yeah, and you know, while the tour is growing, let's not be naive. This is all feels still new, doesn't it? The World 9-Ball Tour. Things are evolving. Events are
3 racks to 1.
being added, to the calendar year on year, and Matchroom Sport trying to figure it out, trying to give the pros an opportunity, a profile to be a true professional pool player. To bag one of these so early on, that's big. He's got to look at the blue too here. He lost the cue ball a bit. Watched the cue ball after side rail. Nearly scratched in the opposite. That's because he's put too much draw on the cue ball. So a little bit fortunate with the cue ball, but who cares? He's on the blue too. He can go forward off a couple of rails and he'll be on the red 3-0. So if he gets this shot right, it's a great opportunity. Well, he's digging down, so clearly prefers to play the stun shot off one rail, which is up to him. Prefers to kind of pump the ball, does Tyler, with a bit more pace rather than let the cue ball do the work. Yep, nothing wrong with that.
Of course, he's experienced extreme pressure. He's been part of 2 successful Mosconi Cup teams. '18 and the following year. So when you've been in that cauldron, you can deal with stuff like this.
Don't want to land short with the cue ball here. Straighter the better in this instance. See how he's landed a little bit short now? He didn't want to play this shot. If you land straight, you can draw back or go forward. Now he's got a stun into the green 6. And you don't want to hit this ball full. You want it to hit at the bottom side to give yourself the best chance. Yeah, you see how he clipped the bottom of it? He knew he could play it up the long rail then.
The pocket more accepting if you slightly overcut this green 6 ball. Didn't overcut that, he absolutely pinged it.
Yeah, you know, often you watch matches, Phil, don't you, and think, oh, it's been very one-sided, but Tyler's showing what you can do if you take a couple of opportunities that you might get. 3 or 4-0 in 9-ball is not a lot.
I watched him leave the table after his first match this week. As we said, beaten in that. And he looked very dispirited, but he's shown an awful lot of resilience.
Tyler Styer
And
wins
that
the 5th
resilience serving Tyler Styer well in this match. 3-0 down, now though it's only 3-2. You know what's refreshing about this tournament, Carl? The fact that Tyler Styer at the age of 30 is the oldest player left.
Is that refreshing or does that make us seem old?
I think everything makes us seem old, particularly me, Carl, so...
Yeah, I know what you mean though, you know, there's so many young players on the circuit. Obviously, every sport could say that, but we have so many young players that are at the top of the game. You know, when you look at the snooker, obviously the World Championships has just been on, and Mark Williams, 50 years of age, getting to the final. Doesn't really happen, does it, in 9-ball? I don't really know why not.
Thank you, rack 6. Tyler Styer to break, trailing 3 racks to 2.
Will the break be thunderous? Will it be successful?
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
It is Sunday at a major world 9-ball ranking event. We're down to the semi-finals. When it comes to the match stats, well, it's a small sample size, but clearly the break is having an influential effect on this match. Mind you, in the first semi-final, even though Jonas Suto won comfortably, he had 4 dry breaks. So to overcome that and win a match against the quality of Mickey Kraus with 4 dry breaks, I think that just underlines how well he was potting. Yapp's pot success rate in this one, 97%. That's around the mark you need to be. Anything lower than that in 9-ball pool and you're leaving yourself a little vulnerable.
Okay, Aloysius. Thank you, rack 7. Aloysius Yapp to break, leading 4 racks to 2.
You're right about his approach to the break though, Carl. It never changes, does it?
This time you could see how close the one was to go in. Where's it finished though? Let's have a look with the... Oh yeah, you see where it's landed there. That's brutal.
The 1 ball is frozen to the ground.
Referee Ped Talafuente confirming that the 1 ball is frozen to the rail. I think there was a little more oomph in that break.
Yeah, it's not the weakest of breaks by any stretch, but he's definitely more about that kind of cue ball. He's in a spot here. He's going to be playing the push out. Where do you roll the cue ball to?
Push out called. Aloysius, it's your choice.
Not a very nice choice. There is an argument to say, Carl, unless you're talking about balls being surrounded by other balls. When a ball is in the open, I can't imagine a more awkward place than that.
Yeah, it's nasty. I think the only option is for either player, whoever decides, but I believe he'll put Tyler Styer back in. Is he going to try and clip off and
Tyler,
just run up
please play
behind
again.
at the green 6? Yeah, this is awful. Can't protect the yellow 1 ball, that's the problem as well. Everything is about the cue ball here. Okay, he's doing something else. Striking down, jacked up. You know what? That is a fantastic effort. Played the double hit. Get the cue ball back down table. A little bit unfortunate where it's finished up, to be fair.
Extension called.
That's what Yap will see when he gets down on the shot. That's the angle.
No potting angle for Styer. Potentially plenty of balls to hide behind though, but he hasn't achieved it.
I wonder if he's going to try and get back out for the blue 2, to pot the blue 2 in the centre, just because that 3 ball's a little weird for the combo. Oh, that was not cued well. That might be his poorest shot of the week.
I would not dispute that assessment. Total malfunction, that. It seemed like the kind of shot you play when you're in two minds.
Extension cool.
Seven ball needs to come to the rescue. Yes, it has. So Yapp's going to play the jump shot. Pretty good with his cue, he is. Close was that? Hit the jaw. That doesn't matter. What matters is Tyler's got a chance here. Played a couple of nice safeties in this rack. Now he's got his chance.
Such a valiant attempt. Of course, with shape attached, had that one ball gone in where the rest of them are, 5-2 was beckoning.
Centre of the table will work on this clearance.
It would be a real boost for 9-ball pool in the USA if someone other than Shane Van Boening or Fedor Gorst were to make a major final on the World 9-ball Tour. What a boost it would be for Styer personally.
He needs this to stop because he wants to pull down the left side of the table. It's perfect, this.
You suspected when Yapp was sizing up that jump shot on the one, it could be decisive either way. Almost certainly it has been.
Tyler Styer
From
wins the seventh
3-0
round.
down, this is tenacious. Tyler Styer's deficit's only 4-3. Yapp doesn't look as though he's too concerned. He's extremely experienced, of course, and I think one of his greatest achievements, if not the greatest, was winning the International Open in Virginia in 2023 and then successfully defending the title when it relocated to St. Augustine in Florida last year. To win that tournament on one occasion, Carl, takes some doing. To do it in successive years, I think that underlines what a player he is.
Yeah, the ranking event, Chesapeake, that's what helped him top the rankings to the Raiders Cup team as well. All the world's best blue players are there playing that tournament. He's the real deal, yeah, we know that. Of course he is. He's in a battle here. This is a real tight affair. Tyler Styer doesn't know how to quit. He will fight until the very end.
Rank number 8. Tyler Styer to break, trailing 4 racks to 3.
Okay, let's keep an eye on the cue ball. Let's see if we can get that arc in below the 9 or into the 9. Usually when that happens, the one ball seems to disappear. That was the perfect demonstration of the break shot. Players are getting chances off the break as well. I think you can see the blue too. Got to play a nifty little shot here though to get on the red 3.
As soon as that 2-ball went into the pocket on the thick side, he caught it really quite full. You heavily suspected the white wasn't going to be in position. Worse still, it's a self-inflicted snooker.
Extension call.
Blocking balls multiple.
Good hit. It pays to hit. Is he going to get away with it? Oh, I don't think he's left a pot, even if there's an edge.
Only natural this, with the stakes continuing to rise with every round. But
Extension
when
call.
you get down to the semi-finals, it's always the case on finals day. That intensity level rockets up. Well, jumping in rack 7 didn't work out. So the choice is to kick. He'll settle for that. Okay, he's left the edge, but could have been so much worse that for Yapp.
Well done. He's done all he could do. He knows Yapp should hit this. It's where it ends up. That's what's going to be key here. He's played it slow. Oh wow. Oh wow, that was nice. Again, maybe there's a little edge sticking out.
Boys predicted this before the match. The first semi-final was so attacking, and what we thought before the match is coming to pass. It would be really tight and very difficult to predict. Styer, of course, having played in that Mosconi Cup, I think that gave him some armour against pressure. There's no pressure like that, Cole. You've experienced it yourself, and when you've been in that environment, anything else maybe it's a little easier to cope with.
Yeah, once you've played in a Mosconi Cup, you can play anywhere. Nothing will faze you. There's nothing quite like the pressure cooker of the Mosconi.
Mind you, Aloysius Yapp excelled in a team environment in Manila. Last year, he was the MVP when Asia beat Europe in the inaugural Reyes Cup. Supplied the clinching point.
Tyler started a break. Scores are tied 4 racks each.
Rare dry break. Seemed to hit him okay. He's having a look at where this 9-ball goes if he comes off the top rail. I'll tell you what, that is not a million miles away. Even if it's offset, he can judge where he wants to hit the one to turn the angle over. I think he's having a go at the 9-ball.
Cushion first combo, we've seen them before.
Yeah, often when you come into the ball,
Extension call.
the ball you're trying to pot, it pushes it a little bit wider, so that's just what he's trying to gauge here. But if you look at that, that is literally set right into the pocket. Doesn't mean it's going to set off that way. It all depends on what he does with the cue ball off the top rail. Here we go. Bit of a trick shot to go 5-4 up.
Jeremy Jones is always saying, in 9-ball, you have to gamble. Yapp gambled, it didn't pay off.
Extension cool.
That's the type of shot we've seen fall this week. Yeah, hit that one really pure. That was a really good strike, and look at where he's got the cue ball. Couldn't put that better with your hand. Coming down here to play the combo, ping 4 onto the green 6.
At least 2 aspects to every combination. One, making the second ball, but also retaining position on the first ball. Both tasks completed with aplomb.
He's dug in well here, Phil. He sat and watched the opening couple of racks. He was a spectator. A couple of breaking runs from Aloysius to start the match off.
As we said, measured players, these two, and yet the 30-second shot clock is no great imposition for them. It looked as though Tyler Styer was going to move into the ascendancy for the first time, but he was scuppered by an 8-ball that no one expected the American to miss.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
A little bit of darts to tell you about this week. The Premier League heads to Aberdeen. It is week 15 of 17. Those two, Lucas Littler and Humphreys, have guaranteed their playoff spots, as has Gerwyn Price. But Michael Van Gerwen, Nathan Aspinall, Rob Cross and Chris Dobie are all still within a shot of reaching the finals in a few weeks' time. It is very much all to play for. 7 o'clock Sky Sports action on Thursday night for that one.
So from talking about a battle of the bullseye, let's take a look at a player who in 2023 won a tournament called the Battle of the Bull in Virginia. Aloysius Yapp.
Thank you, rack 10.
He's in front,
Aloysius Yapp to break.
and if he
Leading
can
5
win this
racks
rack,
to
he'll be
4.
more than halfway to a place in the final.
Yeah, it's another good break. The opening shot doesn't look to be an attacking shot.
You know, Carl, news of this match and the way it's progressing will be music to the ears of Jonas Suto. The one thing he would have wanted was for the second semi-final to be really hard fought and to maybe drain the eventual winner of a little bit of mental stamina. Well, in terms of balls potted, Styer doing the donkey work in this match. That's 15 more than his opponent, who, at least for the next few seconds, is in front. In this semi-final, no quarter is being given. Once again, deadlocked at 5-5. And you couldn't really say, could you, whether Yapp or Styer is feeling the better. You would maybe say Styer because he was 3-0 down. But it's not as though anything major has gone on in terms of momentum. This match is still to be won.
Yeah, obviously the previous rack where Tyler missed the 8 can't be forgotten about, just because it's not cost him any more than one rack. It's not like Yapp's put a 2 or 3 package together. Tyler's just won the previous rack, so it's now tied at 5s, and both players just trading blows.
Much like a poker player, Tyler Styer has got a tell. When he gets involved in a really pressurised match, his cheeks tend to become rather rosy. As yet, 5-5, no great evidence of that, but if it goes 7-7, 8-8, you
Tyler
watch.
started break. Scores are tied, 5 racks each.
often a break can dictate a match as well. Good strike there, you see the one. Disappears in the side. What's he got on the blue two? Something on the top rail. Yeah, this is... It's not really cuttable, is it? So I think he's going to be banking the 2 back down towards the 9. Use the 8 to lay the hook.
Two more kind to Styer in each of the last 2 racks. But of course, Styer knocked it in rack 10, jumping. Could Yapp possibly follow suit?
Yeah, some of the pros over the years, you know, we've moaned about the jump
Extension
tube.
call.
And this is the reason why Tyler Styer couldn't get the cue ball near another ball to take away this shot. He played the shot great, and he knows he's going to have to sit there and watch the jump shot by Yapp. And he'll hit the blue 2. We don't know what's going to happen, but he'll definitely hit it. If he wasn't allowed to play a jump shot, for instance, there, it would have been a brutal kick shot. Tyler took away all the rails. This is a tricky pot here. He's going to have a go though. Top left, cue ball off 2 rails.
Extension call.
Run on a little bit, which means he's got to play a neat shot here. Needs an angle on the 8 after this one to get on the 9.
Lots of cue power. The main thing was to clear that black 8 ball.
Wants to draw this past the middle. You don't get into it, you may scratch.
Around the world, this game is often referred to as American pool. Well, the world is taken over in many respects, but maybe the Stars and Stripes will fly high in Telford tonight. And the reason for that, in this, he's
Tyler Styer wins the
10th match in the UK Open. Styer is proving to be a stayer. 6-5 up from 3-0 down. Carl, you've been around Mosconi Cup team rooms. You know exactly the makeup of Tyler Styer. I think his biggest asset is just pure determination.
Yeah, never gives in. It doesn't matter what shot he's faced with. You don't see him just whacking the balls around or sitting in his chair, sulking. He's just up for it.
I think the other motivation for Styer is that he's one of those players, I think this applies to everyone, but in different degrees. He's one of those players who just hates to lose.
Yeah, throw the fact that he's desperate to win one of our open events. Wants to tick that off the list.
Well, I think he can start thinking about Ali Pali in December if he were to become UK Open champion.
Thank you, rack 12. Tyler Styer to break, leading 6 racks to 5.
Good break again. Unless he's going to start flying at the bank in the side and trying to run the...
Nothing awkward, no clusters. Just minding his work.
Extension cool.
Yeah, he's just got a small angle here. He's deciding whether to play it very hard and just stun it off the one rail, but I don't think he can get quite high up the table, or does he go forward? He doesn't mind drawing the ball. That's what he's playing. Pinched a bit. Wise move. Beep was right on his backswing there. Didn't affect him.
I think this match is a really good advert for the shot clock, because with this level of intensity, you get the feeling these two could get really bogged down if no shot clock was there. missed the 8 in the 9th rack to fall 5-4 down. I said it might be a turning point. Instead, Styer now just a couple of balls away from making it 3 racks in succession. To establish a 7-5 lead, with the winning line starting to appear.
Tyler
7-5
Styer
it
wins the
is. Tyler Styer 4 racks away from appearing in the final of the UK Open.
This is meant to be, like it's my destiny. You better believe me, make it look easy, like it was made for me. I was made for this, build it brick by brick, taking all the risks, so throwing back in the fire. If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone. If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
It is the semi-final session at the UK Open Pool, and our first semi-final was won by Jonas Suto. He's a great character from Ibiza in Spain. He loves the game. He's had 2 World 9-Ball Tour ranking event victories already this year. He's got plenty to celebrate. And now, with an 11-5 win over Mickey Kraus, he's got every reason to dance. But will he lead his opponent in the final, the Merry Dance? We don't know who the opponent will be yet. The first semi-final was in stark contrast to the second, when Jonas Suter Camino won. It was a quick vim and vigour match. This one has been a lot more hard fought, a lot lengthier, and now Aloysius Yapp has got to cope with the fact he had a chance to regain the lead in the 15th rack, but he succumbed to the pressure, didn't he, Carl, missing that 7-ball?
Yeah, he couldn't quite get the cue ball where he wanted, and in the end he had to knock in a mid-range 7 at this level. He's got to go, got to be honest, he should not miss it, but he did. He snatched. He didn't deliver the cue smooth as he often does, and as I said before the break, getting to the real meaty part of this
Tyler
match.
Styer to break.
It's 8-7.
Leading 8 racks to 7.
Tyler Styer to break.
And just one other thought about Suto. As the time between sessions dwindles down, his advantage increases. The 1 finds the centre, but the 2 all of our minds. But if he doesn't, its influence will be significantly reduced. It will be forgotten, basically.
It's amazing, Phil. The previous rack, he missed the 7-ball. He dogged it. He twitched. But for some reason, 9-ball pool has gifted him in a fluke.
Can't imagine he's going to miss the 7 this time. Or the 8.
Yeah, and the 9's up there as well, so 3 balls to go. 8-8. Aloysius will be breaking. And again, the fluke, you know, might not just be this rack that he wins from it.
Yapp wins the 16th rack.
8 racks each it is. You know, world-class 9-ball players, and these 2 most certainly are world-class, have colossal skill. But so often, a little bit of good fortune goes a million miles.
Yeah, it was a wild fluke though. Just hit the blue 2. It wasn't cutting to the corner either. Predicted that.
Yeah, you can stand there all day and not do this again. Not only that, Mark will have obscured himself on the carom, but he avoided the 9-ball, had a clear path through and went from there. So, best of 5 coming up. And now the pendulum may swing again, because as our referee racks the balls meticulously, it is Aloysius Yapp gets to break in rack 17.
Tyler's been here a fair
Rack 17.
few times this week.
Rack 17. Aloysius Yapp to break. Scores are tied. 8 racks each.
Well, I know something, Phil. It would be very cruel if Aloysius Yapp would run the set from here. He's got to look at the blue too, but let's look at where the cue ball has fell. It's going to be awkward cueing this. Yeah, and it's pretty straight, so even if he does try and pot it, there's not a lot for the 3 ball.
Push out call.
4:30. This match is still going ahead. Jonas Suto will be feet up somewhere, relaxing.
Tyler, it's your choice.
Yeah, these guys are well used to playing multiple matches in a day. It's not the physical stamina that's the problem. When you're playing high stakes pool, it is the mental stamina that you need, and Jonas Suto will come into that final as fresh as a daisy.
One of them instances where you just separate the balls, stay in the rack. He'll bring his jump cue and make a decision, but I think it will be the jump shot, trying to pot it in the upper corner. Beautiful. What a jump shot after witnessing what he's witnessed in the previous rack. Temperament, Phil, that's what you think of when you think of Tyler Styer. He just keeps going.
Yeah, the second time he's knocked in a superb 2 while jumping.
Extension called.
Could have played safe. Could have stayed patient. Decided to go for it. That's up to him.
And his banking hasn't been his best suit in this match. It's been a little inaccurate. A couple of times he's been really unlucky. He came so close to knocking them in, but caught just a little too much jaw, but that was nowhere near.
Extension
Yeah,
called.
and it's Tyler's turn to get a bit of run on the ball. You can't pot this. could pot it. I thought with him standing up, Phil, he was wondering what shot to play. I think he put a bit of spin on it to turn the ball over. So Styer didn't get away with it. It's a chance.
Carl said it was a chance. Now it's a very good chance. Yapp not in front since 5-4. This will be his tightest match of the entire event. Holding up well though, Aloysius Yapp, really helped by that fluked 2 in rack 16 in the 17th. Well, basically it came down to Tyler Styer's misjudged bank attempt on the 3. Yapp regains the advantage at 9-8. Trying hard to get himself going. When you get to this stage now, you're really hoping that you can deliver, because you know how bad you're going to feel if you lose. The pot success rate of Yapp is improving up to 90%. Much could depend over the next half an hour or so. If it goes that far, would be the break-off of the two players. If someone can find the answer, that could be decisive.
Maybe we should have one where it says flukes, because it was the fluke on the blue too when Aloysius was 8-7 down. Styer had him in a good hook and it was a crazy fluke. He fluked the 2 ball and
Aloysius Yapp to
he
break.
won the rack, and now he's
Leading 9 racks to 8.
9-8 up. In the previous rack, Tyler Styer went full blood on a bank shot. He didn't need to. Could have played a safety. He decided to go for it. He missed it. And now it's Yapp to break. A bit like the previous one, or maybe the one before, sorry, where he's missed the 1 ball, but another ball's gone in.
Now there, he got a clear shot on the 1. Looked as though the purple 5 might block his path, but I don't think it has. Looking to see whether the 1 sneaks past the green 6. Well, it did more than sneak, it went in easily, but Yapp caught it far too thick.
Yeah, it seems to be that type of shot. That was a similar shot to the 7 where you play it with left, try and draw it. Missed it by a long way. Now he's a big favourite to make this bank shot. It sets up pretty good. Gonna try and get the cue ball working round the table.
Well, what an epic encounter that was. But it is Aloysius Yapp who will go through to the final, where he'll meet Jonas Sutu for a chance to win the UK Open title.